this is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Voyager class Megatron. As you see, Megatron comes in this nice new Robots in Disguise packaging. This is the first version of Megatron in terms of Voyager form that we've gotten. We previously got the deluxe version, but that was in the 2-pack thing that you had, or entertainment pack I should say. Glowing fusion cannon, you see that you can push it down right there, and there's the little light and it goes all the way down. Really cool artistic drawing right there. Well, not really artistic, but kind of like the CGI image. Flip around here, and then you have the awesome looking Megatron picture right there. I love the way that looks. You got Optimus Prime right down there on the bottom. On this side, you have his tech specs and his little bio. And it says that Megatron began his life as a gladiator, built to fight in the brutal darkness of the Kaon pits. It was there that he learned that the strong survive and the weak perish. And there that he became determined to be the strongest of all. His conquest began there and has since burned its way across the galaxy. And then you come down here and you see his tech specs. Another really cool picture right there. Come around to the back and you can see that the robot mode, vehicle mode, and the other characters in the actual series. It says press and hold to convert the fusion cannon to a mighty sword, which kind of looks weird, I guess. I'm really kind of iffy about that. And it includes a battle claw. I don't remember ever seeing him use that yet, but we'll see. The fusion cannon plugs on there. You have his spaceship mode, and that's about it. You got a weird open window on the top. I never did understand why that's always there, but we'll find out. Maybe one day. Who knows? But there you have Megatron. Let's get him open, though, and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Voyager class Megatron opened up and out of its packaging. And as you can see, this is his vehicle mode, the spaceship mode, I guess. Now, it really isn't too terrible, I suppose. It's kind of what we see in the actual cartoon, so it's not all that bad. There are a few, well, more than a few minor problems that I have with this. Honestly, I don't really care for this all that much. I mean, when you take a look at this one, and compare it to what we previously got with the deluxe version, this one just really kind of falls short. I don't know if it's really the paint job on this one, because, I mean, they're almost identical looking. One thing that I really don't care for is this big, gigantic fusion cannon. In vehicle mode, it's just way too big. This is a really nice fusion cannon on this one. This one, way too big. Now I understand the need to have it be big like this because you gotta fit in the lights and the sound, well not sounds, but the battery and things like that. And obviously it still works. You just take it and you move it forward and you can see the little light coming up there, and he's got his blade. But it doesn't really work for me. It's definitely too big of a fusion cannon. Now the overall problem of this entire figure is really the paint job. When you compare it to the deluxe version, the paint job on this one is just far superior to this one. Really nice kind of silver and gray paint, whereas this one is, I mean, even the gray you can kind of see is a different material. Now I'll show this off later on, but I really did actually like how they molded in some kind of like metal wash on here that I'll show off better in the robot mode, and I can zoom in. But really that doesn't replace the sheer cool look of this figure. The transformation for this guy is really ridiculously fiddly. Now this guy had a little bit of fiddle factor to him, but nothing as bad as the actual Voyager. One other kind of thing that he has, he comes with this other kind of weapon that you just slot in here and then it just tabs right on there, just making the whole fusion cannon even bigger, and that's just really kind of goofy if you ask me. I might actually like this a little bit more if it was actually maybe painted silver as opposed to this kind of bronze color that his feet are. His hands are also that color, which you can kind of see dangling out here on the back. Just the vehicle mode really kind of is lackluster to me. Not a very big fan of it. Now the transformation, like I said, is a bit of a pain in the butt. Let's get this out of the way for right now. Now honestly, the transformation into the robot mode isn't nearly as bad as coming back into the jet mode, or spaceship mode, whatever you want to call it. What I like to do first, come around here, separate these wings, kind of loosen these up. It's kind of a pain. Loosen those up on the side. They just tab in right like so, and then untab right here, kind of rotate these around, and this section right here will untab. So rotate this around, and then that section right back here untabs and can just swivel down just like so. And then this whole assembly right down here, right up at the purple, just swings down just like that. Kind of get these little hook doodads. Get these, I don't even know what you call them, front bumpers. Get these out of the way, kind of angle this up, and that's going to tab into place, and then that's going to swing all the way around like so. Kind of rotate the leg, just like that. Come around here. This section here, you rotate, fold this little bit in, rotate that, and then this accordions and then clips together just like so. Do that on this side as well. So rotate that in, rotate this around. This will accordion and clip together like so. Fold the feet out. So the two prong is the foot or the toe, and the one prong is the heel. So just like that. And here you have Megatron's legs done, and looking very similar to what we saw with the deluxe version. Come around here to this section, then come down to the arms, untab these, and then you can kind of sort of see a little round peg right up in there. They tab into the arm, so you kind of have to pull that out like so and kind of rotate this out just to kind of get it out of the way. Keep it down like so. Kind of angle these down. Again, my good friend Darth Devious did a review on this and basically said you got to move these, you got to move these, you got to move these. These constantly are getting moved to transform him. So then separate this, rotate this around, and then you're going to bring this down. And as you bring it down, you're going to bring out his Decepticon symbol, which is really kind of cool. I really do like that. Then rotate these up. Again, just rotate around, bring these panels all the way up like so. That fills in his chest. Bring these all the way down. Get these all the way up just to get them out of the way. Rotate this around. Rotate that around. Bring these arms out all the way. And then you're going to see little tabs here and here that peg in two holes here and here. Not the round holes, the little square ones above it. But you have to angle this down and get it to line up just perfectly to get them to actually slot in there, which can be a pain in the butt sometimes. But there we go. Angle the arms all the way down, spin it around. You can rotate these bits down, filling in his shoulder bits. Rotate his arm all the way around. Rotate his hand out like so. Rotate his arm all the way around. Hand out. And then these, you kind of do whatever you want. Well, this piece right here, you lift up like so. These little bits right here, you kind of position them however you want. Now, the instructions say to kind of leave them up like this. And in doing so, some people have said, you know, that kind of adds to the bulk of his shoulder pads. But I still think that looks ugly. I don't like that at all. Now, you can bring them down like so, but now he's got kind of wings here. Now you can see him if he brings his arms in closer. That's kind of ugly. You can angle them all the way back, which hides them, but now you have that going on. Or you can just kind of sort of angle them where they're a little bit further back. You bring the arms out, kind of fill things in, and it kind of hides it just a little bit better. I don't like any of that. What I actually like doing is coming around here, and this little piece right here, it just tabs in. So just wiggle that a little bit and it comes out completely. So I'm going to do that on both sides. Move those off to the side, kind of fold that back, and that I think looks a heck of a lot better. Now granted you have these little bits right here, but that's not all that bad. It's a heck of a lot better of a wing back than what we had before. And that looks a whole lot better. Kind of keep that down like so. But there you guys have Megatron transformed into his robot mode. Now, most long-term viewers of mine know that I basically review Transformers on 3 different criteria: how it looks in the vehicle mode, the transformation, and how it looks in the robot mode. Now for me, this figure, the very best part of it is the robot mode. But one of the biggest and most glaring problems that I have with it is, again, the paint job. In vehicle mode, it was extremely lacking, and in robot mode, it looks even worse. I mean, here you see that it's really kind of bland. Now, it's not terrible, but when you compare it to the cheaper deluxe version of it, it's really hard for me to sit here and say that this figure is really all that great. A figure at the Voyager price point should have those kind of premium looks to it. I mean, here you have the Voyager figure, and here is the actual deluxe version of them. And as you can see, this is just a much better paint scheme. I mean, so much more is better on the deluxe one in terms of the paint, that the fact that this is a much better scaled version really is the only benefit to having this figure. He looks a lot better with all the other Transformer Prime figures, just based on the size of them. As you can see, the nice silver paint on here, the nice gray details, all are completely lacking on the Voyager figure. They even started putting in this kind of, like I said, bronze color. Here's the hands, the knee pads, and then you got on the foot. Whereas this one has a really nice kind of gray. This is a darker gray, and that's obviously kind of just a silverish gray color. And then the very nice sparkly kind of silver in the main torso bit is just completely removed in this, and you just got the straight, bland, grayish color. Now, that being said, again, I don't know how well this is going to come across, but you can absolutely see, and you can even feel it, that molded into the plastic are some kind of metal wash, I suppose. Like I said, I really don't know how well that's coming across on the actual camera. In hand, you can absolutely see it, and you can feel it. And that's the most I can get really zoomed in, and you can sort of see it, kind of just brushed along there. That's actually molded in. That's not paint. That's molded into the plastic, and that's actually really cool. It's definitely something that a really nice kind of silver paint would really bring out and really make the whole figure pop. And for another size comparison, here you see him next to the Deluxe Class First Edition Starscream. And as you can see, this is a beautiful scale. This is absolutely awesome. The size scale just works so much better with this Voyager Megatron. And for one final comparison, here he is next to his arch nemesis, Optimus Prime. And as you can see, the first edition Optimus Prime is actually a little bit taller than Megatron. Now, ideally, he should be about here. So, like a half an inch or so taller, but realistically, this is the best that we're probably going to get. Now, as for his articulation, his neck up here is on a ball joint, but because of his giant chin pieces and this big back piece on the back of his head, you can't really get a heck of a lot of motion with it. I mean, that's about as far left and right that he's going to be looking, so that really does kind of suck. His arms are on ball joints here at the shoulder. They move in and out, up and down, all that stuff. These move along with it. They're separate pieces, but you know, you lift it up, bring it down, then you have to bring that down, which kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? Rotates here at the forearm area right above the translucent purple, bends at the elbow, and the wrists move in and out as part of the transformation. They actually don't rotate. That's another thing that the Deluxe has that this one doesn't, and that kind of sucks. But, you know, it's not that bad. No articulation here at the waist. The hips here are on ball joints, so you get a nice range of motion. They also rotate at the upper part of the thigh. They bend at the knee, and then there's a little bit of pivot here and such here at the actual foot. So you can get some good poses with him, but really, I mean, you just kind of have him stand there being menacing and all Megatron-like. Now, as for his accessory, here it is. Now, this little thing here, this is kind of a pain in the butt. This pegs on here, and it's actually really, you have him hold it in his hand, and then you peg this in, and then getting it out is actually kind of a pain in the butt to kind of do. I mean, because every time you do, he wants to bend. So it's really difficult to kind of get it out, but I mean, there you go. It's just an ugly weapon. I don't understand it at all. And then this right here obviously still lights up, and you got the little blade that pops out, and then the fusion cannon, which doesn't light up, but you see the light comes up here, and it's supposed to kind of light through there, but it doesn't work very well. And then you peg this right in there, and again, the fusion cannon, even in this mode, is a little bit bigger than I would like it to be. It definitely looks a little ugly, and then these little bits kind of hanging out here really don't help the look for them. And just like in vehicle mode, the ugly bronze color is just really ugly. It goes along with the hands and the feet. It's just not a good color. It's kind of like a random color thrown in there. It really should be at least matching with this kind of gray that they put on here. I really don't get that at all. Now to transform him back, just take this off, and this is the most difficult part about this whole figure. And that came undone. Take this off, set that off to the side. Lift these, rotate these around like so. Now the instructions don't tell you to do that, but it's going to be easier to transform him, trust me. And then separate this back piece, and actually, because I removed these, we probably should put these back on. So these are just going to peg right in the side there, and that's going to peg in on the side there. There we go. And that's nice and neat on there. Then separate the arms, kind of rotate these back. Just again, getting everything out of the way. Take these, rotate these down, kind of angle them out. You can take this little crotch piece, fold this out, and that kind of accordions down. And then this whole section here folds up. It's a big giant mess. It really, really is. take these shoulder panels, rotate these down. Again, just kind of keeping them out of the way so you can actually do things. Fold this up, then bring these arms down. Peg, you see the giant peg right here, that pegs into this hole right down here. So rotate that around, peg that in, and then rotate this around so this little prong piece is pointing inward. Take the hand, fold that down, do this side as well, bend that in, rotate that around. You can rotate this piece around. Again, you're going to be bringing this little prong piece right here on the inside, tab that in just like so. These come together, those peg together nicely. Kind of keep that straight, fold that down just like that. Fold this down. You're going to rotate these little bits out like so. Oh, sorry. Take this section here, rotate this back like so, then bring these together, and those are going to peg together, and then just kind of angle his head so it's hiding right there. Bring these up like so. Fold these legs down, rotate them around like so, bring them down, rotate them around like so. And like I said, this whole thing is just kind of a giant fluster. Kind of take these, rotate these around like that, kind of bring that down around like so, and then take this, angle this out, rotate this bit around. The transformation on here really is crappy. Rotate that around, kind of angle that right there, fold these just like that. Do that on this side also. Separate that out, rotate that around, rotate the little horn bit out, fold that back, and you can see just everything's kind of flopping all over the place. It's really a giant mess. The transformation really does suck on here. I really think it does. You want to make sure that these wings are actually kind of on an angle, like so. Bring that up, and then this little section here is going to tab in there. Do that on this side as well. That just kind of holds in and tabs. Then this part actually really is complicated. Rotate that, well, now we'll worry about that here in a minute. There's a little tiny tab right here that is going to tab underneath here. You need to rotate this around, and looking underneath here, it's really kind of hard to see, to line it up and get it to tab down. And then when you do that, take this section here and rotate this around. If you don't, getting these in here, it's a huge pain in the butt, because that tab will not go down. It's really a pain. I mean, trust me, it really is. So rotate this around. That kind of squeezes down. Sometimes it doesn't. Kind of something like that. There we go. Then take this section, rotate this, and that's going to kind of tab it up underneath there. Kind of have it down there as well. Take these little feet things. I like positioning them like this. Just kind of gives it more of a flare, I suppose. Kind of fiddle this out. Rotate that out. Rotate that out like so. And I guess you can take this here at this point. Peg this into his top area. Straighten that out. And here you have Megatron back in his spaceship mode. Now, as I said, longtime viewers of mine know that when I review these, I really do kind of base things, at least with Transformers, on three different things. The vehicle mode, which, if you ask me, isn't too terribly bad. It's more of a mess than the actual deluxe version, but it's still really not that great of a vehicle mode. I mean, I can let it slide. I mean, it's a Cybertronian jet, I understand that, but when I compare this to how the deluxe looked, I really expect the Voyager to kind of look a little bit better. In my opinion, this looks worse. The second criteria is the transformation. This thing is really kind of fiddly. You have to move a lot of stuff out of the way to get other stuff to move where it needs to. And it's just a giant cluster flub. I really dislike it, especially going back into this mode. And the third and final thing that I use is the robot mode. And that's really this figure's saving grace. The robot mode looks actually really good, but the biggest problem that just is overall this entire figure is the paint job. It's just really bland and very boring, especially when we got a really nice kind of shiny premium paint job with the deluxe one. Again, something that a more expensive figure I really think should continue to have. This figure, while it's not the absolute worst that they could possibly come up with, I really feel they stepped back from the deluxe version. Now in terms of a display piece, it really does display nicely, at least in robot mode, with the rest of your Transformer Prime figures. As long as you don't mind the paint job on it, or lack thereof of paint. And depending on how hardcore you really are, I would really suggest waiting for the actual eventual Takara release and get that one. Hopefully, the paint job is much nicer looking. That's the one that I'm really kind of looking forward to. It would probably fix one of the biggest problems I have, just the general paint job of this guy. But there you guys have it. Transformers Prime, Robots in Disguise, Voyager class, Megatron. I want to thank you for tuning in. Until next time, this has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.